Hello and welcome to this week's video for cramtheexam.com, where I give you another grammar or exam top tip to help you achieve higher marks in your English exam. Now this week I'm going to be looking at an exam top tip rather than the grammar top tip in order to help you get some extra marks. Now this, as opposed to the grammar rules and top tips that I've given you, is slightly more of a risky strategy, because before you apply what I'm going to tell you, you really have got to know it well. Because if you use this and you don't apply it well, the context is wrong, the register is wrong. So you're using these, and this is informal, and you're using it in a formal context, then it's going to stand out like a sore thumb, and it will lose you marks more than likely. So you've got to know this, and you've got to know it well. But if you can carry it off in your writing exam or in your speaking exam, then it really will make the examiners pay attention, and you will benefit as a result. So what is it that I'm going to talk about today? Today I'm going to be talking about using Britishisms or Americanisms in your speaking and in your writing, alongside using great grammar and linking devices to make your message flow from one point to the next, and as I discussed last week with linking devices, take the reader or the listener on the journey with you. One other thing that makes you stand out as an expert English user is your use of nativisms, Americanisms or Britishisms, in the right place. Because these communicate a picture. These words paint a wonderful picture for the listener or for the reader. They're not just words, they're highly picturesque words. As I said, these words paint a picture, and only natives use them. You won't see these in textbooks, or at least you'll only see them in very high level textbooks. So if you use these nativisms, I'm going to concentrate on Britishisms in this video, but if you use them, they really will make your work stand out. So as a British person, I might talk about time in a slightly different way. For example, 2 weeks might be 2 weeks. I can see you in 2 weeks, or I might see you in a fortnight, or I might see you the week after next. Both of those will talk about 2 weeks' time, a fortnight and a week after next. I might talk about seeing you in a jiffy, in other words, in just a second. I might talk about before I see you, I'm going to have to put some things in my knapsack and take that with me. A knapsack, backpack, travel bag, something along those lines. I could be really, really knackered, and I don't want to go out and see you, but I've got to see you. Knackered meaning really, really tired. I could be peckish, in other words, feeling a bit hungry, so I'll go off and see if there's anything that I fancy or anything that I'd like to eat. Now I might buy something, for example, that I think is really, really swish, but you think is a bit naff. Whereas you've bought something and I'll think, wow, that's right up my street. And as we go shopping, it might be proper brass monkeys outside, so we better dress up warm. And it's a good job we walked, because if you have a look at the traffic now, it is chock-a-block or chock-a-blocker, and we'd get nowhere if we were driving a car, so it's a good job that we're on foot. So there are just a few examples. Just remember, I know I'm going to provide links to some Britishisms below this video if you're watching this on YouTube, or above if you're watching this on Facebook. The most important thing is make sure you know what these Britishisms mean, make sure you've listened to them in context, and make sure that you can practice them as much as you like, because if you get the context wrong, brass monkeys talks about being really, really, really cold. If you use brass monkeys in a completely different context because you think it's correct but it's really not correct, then it's going to be a clanger. It's going to stand out really, really badly, and it will lose you marks for obvious reasons. So you've got to make sure that this vocab, you know it well and you use it appropriately. But the most important thing is to make sure that you're on good form. In other words, you're at the top of your game, that you know what you're doing when you're using these words. High risk strategy, you got to know what you're doing, but well worth it, because it will get you those extra marks. Okay, that's enough from me for this week. Another grammar or exam top tip for you next week, and I'll see you then. And remember, if you want to cram your English exam, whether it's the FCE, CAE, Matura Advanced in English, then I've got plenty of resources. Well, I've got all of the answers for you on my website, and I'll talk you through those answers. So if you've got the gold first, if you've got the gold first, gold advanced, first expert, advanced expert, or you've got ready for first, ready for advanced, you're studying from those books and you want some help, or you want my help with in marking your writing exercises, then go to my website, sign up, and I'll be there to help you out.